Hey, Magic fans, back again here. Today, we're going to do a follow up on Ravnica Remastered and what it's like now that it's actually out in the world. So, before we get started, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. Links in the description to all the stores where I sell my cards. You can help support by buying some cards there. Uh, it's easy to support. It's free, just a subscription. Watch some videos. That's the best way. You want to throw a little extra cash my way? There's memberships on YouTube. We got Patreon in the links in the description if you want to go old school. Um, Also, we're on Rumble. Don't forget to check us out over there if you like. So, with all that said, let's take a gander at where we're at with Ravnica. So, as you guys have probably heard, or maybe you haven't, Ravnica's a bit on the uptake. So, what does that mean? Now, I know on the channel we talked very poorly about this set for a lot of different reasons. And because the set's doing better than people are expected or people think that it's good, it doesn't mean it's a good set, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to lead up to that later, because first we're going to do is I want to actually go through and, like I said, show you guys what the sale prices are and some sell-through rates, just so we get an idea of where we're currently at. Now, right here you see some prices. These are all the high-end stuff, and of course these are serialized cards, which are going to be expensive. Now, with that said, you only get serialized cards in the boosters. So if we look at the boosters, 262. If we come down here, we look at this price here, you can see it dip down 115 to about 255, which isn't much lower than what it is now, but it's on the uptake and has stabilized around 262. And as you can see over here, there actually has been quite a bit of sales, 1 to 2 here and there on every day, but not sales that would, we'll say, dictate high flow through. I mean, right now we're looking at, if you go through the 27th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes today at filming this video, the 27th. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 boxes on the 25th. Or on the 26th, excuse me. If we go to the 25th, there's only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-ish. So we're averaging probably around 10 to 12 boxes a day, and the number's going down as we speak. Now, a lot of that, people are not listing or lowering their price because they're holding on to the product, because the single cards are actually selling. I've talked to a few stores. One store didn't get any pre-orders. And this is one of the things that's going to make this data a little skewed, but still make the product good in one aspect, which is they opened like 400 boxes when I talked to these guys, because nobody wanted to buy it. 350, anyway, close to 400. We'll round down and say 300. Hell with it. 300 boxes. The 300 boxes, they were getting 6 to 10 Shocklands a box in collectors. You're getting ready to see the Shocklands are selling for around 15 a piece. So that's almost half the box price. And then the other cards kind of make up the rest. But here's the thing. They're saying they're getting serialized cards. On average, they were getting them every 4 to 3 boxes. That is insane. Because that's a lot higher than 1%. If it's every 4 boxes. Because what that basically means is, if you buy a big case, that has the mini cases in it, and the mini cases are 6 boxes a piece, that's 24. 8 times 4 for, so there's 24. If you divide 4 into 24, 7 is 21, 8 is 24. So that's 8 serialized cards inside there. So it's 1 every 4 boxes, means some of those 6-packs are going to have 2 serialized cards in them. That is way higher than 1%. Which is making a lot of people happy for the select few people who are buying the product. So, it's making the product sell a little better as far as collector boxes go. Now, with that said, if you look back over here, you notice that these serialized cards are only going for around 300, and the prices are all over the place. Like, this is 500 listed, 300 market price, 350 listed, 400 market price. on average, unless you've got like a Shockland that's Godless Shrine or Breeding Pool, apparently, you're looking at about $300 for a serialized card, which is okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not as good as some of the serialized cards we've seen in the past. And some of that may be because, these cards are all reprints, so there's that. Now, with that being said, aside from, serialized cards, if we look at the draft box where they don't have serialized cards, it's just the reprints, it went down to 161. It came back up when people started getting a little hyper about the set because the prices of cards were selling well. But as you can see, it's starting to dip back down again. Currently, we're around the 165 range, which is kind of where it's been on average, about $3 lower. But this is a downturn, an upturn from a little popularity, but back to a downturn, which tells me the draft boxes are still, in my opinion, a bad investment. If we look at the draft boxes, on the 27th of the day I filmed the video, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 boxes were sold. On the 26th, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes sold. 25th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes sold. So you're looking at like 6 to 8 boxes a day of draft. Relatively lower than collectors, and that's probably par for the course. But it also tells me there's not value in draft boxes unless you just want to draft it for fun. Now, I'm positive drafting this set would be immensely fun. However, the price of these boxes are relatively high. And these price of these boxes have now shrunk down to the area of play boosters almost. I mean, they're about $20 off, give or take. But still, a remastered set that's only $20 more than the current sets that are coming out doesn't bode well for remastered sets. I know people want to complain you can't compare remastered sets to master sets and yada yada yada. Well, no, you can't. But if you compare them, there's not a good stepping stone. I mean, a master set like Commander Master is going for like close to $250, $300 a box. This box should be close to $200 to kind of be in that mid price because it's a remastered set, in my opinion. But it's more on the low side. So, I mean, the premium product here is a Commander Masters or regular Master draft box. Doesn't bode well, in my opinion, but that's just me, and it's an opinion. So, have at that. Now, with that said, what does card price look for the set? So, if we go down here, obviously serialized cards for days, some of them down in the hundreds, so getting a bad serialized card means you're not going to get a whole lot of money back. These are some of the best ones up here, so that doesn't bode well for the set either. But half does 160 the other. The most expensive card right now is the Anime Borderless Cyclonic Rift for $35, followed by regular Cyclonic Rift for $27. Now, and the other Cyclonic Rift for $26. Jesus. Anyway, Cyclonic Rift in general, $25 or better. Good hits. However, once you go past this mark here, the price of a collector's pack is $27, which means you need to hit a serialized or one of these cards to pay for the pack and one card. Now, as we get into Shocklands, which is the next most expensive thing other than Bruvac here, you notice it starts at around $15. I know it says market price $20, so if you go and you check, it says here that it's $21, but if you look, there's damaged ones in there that's throwing the numbers off, but here around $19, so at best, $20 land. Now, these are the old border ones, and these are the borderless ones, so you're not guaranteed to get those either, so you may get regular Shocklands, which if we go down here until we really find one, Breeding Pool's $14, so, I mean, maybe you get lucky, you get one for 20, but I'm gonna average these out to about 15 because some of the lands like this listings for $11, and these are, this says heavily played. This one's near mint foil for 15. So we'll call it 15, and we can argue about it in the comment section, and I won't reply. But anyway. Other than that, you have Aurelia, who's around 15 as well. Divine Visitation, it's at 10 to 15. Here again, it says, market price is 15, near mint 16. But you can see there's one listed right here for $12. roughly 1250, yada yada yada. Anyway, that's why I kind of average stuff out. So, and as we keep going, that's the best you're gonna get. If you can't hit one of these shock lands or one of those 3 cards, Bruvac, Divine Visitation, or Aurelia, in the special arts, not the other arts, you're going to get something like this. A $9 card, $11 Guardian Project's probably kind of special. But again, anime version, Curios 9, 9, 9. So there's not a lot going on value-wise. And reminder, the only thing in here that's worth more than $9 that's not a mythic are the lands and the shock lands at that. All these other cards are mythic. None of these other cards are rares. You know, and you should know as well as I do, hitting mythics is not easy if you've watched me crack boxes on the channel. So, the first rare card outside of a land that actually has any value is a $5 Cryptgeist. And that's really stretching it. You know, next you get Bird of Paradise, and it's just all downhill from there because we're still in the mythic lands. You know, you'll get, if you're lucky, a couple anime $5 borderless cards. But all these cards are still the same. Cryptgeist, Spark Doubles in there, Myrtle Girl, Massacre Girl, whatever. But, so all in all, my response to this is the set's still not good. However, here's the reason I think it's doing well. And why I think it is, in essence, a good set, just priced wrong for everyone. There are old Magic players and there's new Magic players. And in the grand scheme of things, hear me out, most old Magic players, like myself and my friends, we don't sell our cards because we like to play when the moment arises and we get a tickle in our panty. And we want to play some decks, we'll bust out our old cards, yada, yada, yada. Because of that, some of these cards that us older players have aren't really prevalent on the market, so therefore they're expensive. And we like that, but newer players don't. So by reprinting these cards like this, they can make a new supply of cards for players who are newer to the game, and these cards are cheap enough that they don't feel so bad buying them. Plus, since the set's cheaper to buy into to draft, which is probably one of the funnest parts, play limited, it gets those cards not only in circulations, but in those new players' hands and gives them something cool for themselves to open. So I think what we have here, and hear me out, is a clandestine line between older players, or original players, old players, and the new age players, where the reprints are now circulating to certain players, which is the newer players, while us older players are keeping the older cards because we already have them, and the real old players have the cards as well. So, you know, in those old players to middle age old players, sometimes collections get sold and so forth and so on. People make money off of them. They make money off of them. But it's not enough to fuel the new influx of players coming to Magic currently. And that might be why this set is being somewhat successful and the card values are somewhat holding. But again, with that said, from an old player standpoint and a collectible standpoint, I still don't like the set. Because for me, it honestly doesn't have anything in it that I would want, or anything I think I could flip and turn money on if I took the time to buy these boxes. And as you guys know, when I open boxes on the set, you always get less than the box value. And this boxes in particular are going to be very heinous about that unless you buy collector boxes. And even then, if you get some bad collector boxes, which you've seen on the channel, you can really take a thumping. So, for us older collectors who don't need the cards, or what have you, it's not so great. For stores doing mass openings who want to sell serialized cards and stuff, probably a good set on the collector side. The draft side, great for the newer players who want to get in and get the good cards cheap. For us people in the middle of the road, neither is probably good unless you just want to get a couple collector boxes and hold on to them. But for me, the price value it's at now for a collector box, it just doesn't have enough in it for me, because I can get the anime cards that I want, you know, like this here for $5. It's not worth me wasting $300 after tax and shipping and everything else to open a collector box and maybe get 2 or 3 of these when I could spend $300 and probably get all of them. Which is another reason the set's doing semi-well, is because of that standpoint. So it's a really weird mesh what we got going on here. But at the same time, it is kind of cool. And I do like it as far as if this is what's really happening with the set. But as far as me as a player, I'm going to dislike it while somebody else could love it. And I think I see why we're having a disconnect between different player categories. And that might be why, as we enter the new age of Magic with play boosters, this could be a different kind of dynamic when they start selling cards. So, with all that said, guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the whole breakdown. Tell me in the comments down below what you think. Until next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across the game table, no matter what kind of player you are. Because I'm still going to be rocking out the old style. Boy.